When the West comes with briefcases and buzzwords, Africa should always check the back of the truck because behind cooperation often lies control, and we all know that. Dumelang, Absheni, Ralocha, Sanwanani, Mulweni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. Just last week, while much of the continent was watching the Sahel rise from the ashes of new colonialism, AFRICOM, which is the United States Africa Command, was holding a military conference in Nairobi, Kenya, with African defense chiefs. Now, the stated goal: emerging tech, education, and civil military cooperation. But let's be real, when AFRICOM shows up, it's really about development, but it's about dominance. Now, let's talk timing, right? This conference comes barely 5 weeks after General Michael Langley, who is AFRICOM's commander, by the way, accused Burkina Faso's president, Ibrahim Traore, of using his country's gold to consolidate power. Really? You mean the same Traore who nationalized resources, who expelled French troops, and is finally using Burkina Faso's wealth for the Burkinabe people? Is that the same one? And if this feels familiar, that's because it is. We've seen the script before, right? Gaddafi, Sankare, Lumumba. When African leaders don't play the puppet, the West calls the dictators, manufactures consent, and prepares the chessboard for regime change. Now, AFRICOM says it's here to help African nations, but let's check the receipts, right? They failed to stop Al-Shabaab in East Africa. They've lost the most expensive drone base in Niger. And now, to make it even worse, they're holding strategy meetings in a country hosting 2 U.S. military bases, while Kenyan police occupy Haiti in a U.S.-funded mission. Now, is this in any way about African security or American dominance? I want us to call it what it is: a military operation with a smiling face, dressed in diplomatic robes and carrying a baton behind its back. Nairobi wasn't chosen by mistake. We all know that President William Ruto has shown that he's more than willing to do Washington's bidding. Whether it's in Haiti, it's Sudan, or now by condemning the popular uprising in Niger, Kenya's police forces are often always linked to extrajudicial killings and have been trained and equipped by the CIA. So Ruto is positioning Kenya as the gateway for Western influence in Africa. But I believe we must ask, at what cost? Is Kenya protecting the continent or opening the doors for another wave of imperial disruption? And I mean, across Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, the alliance of Sahel states and Africans abroad are saying enough manipulation, enough military intervention, and enough pretending that it's all for our benefit. And let me be clear. AFRICOM is not about African freedom. It's about strategic containment, resource access, and geopolitical chess. And we, the people, are tired of being pawns. The West cannot stand the sight of Africans organizing themselves without NATO and without IMF and without their supervision. The truth is this, right? Burkina Faso's people aren't complaining. We're only hearing Washington that is complaining. And that tells you everything that you need to know. So to AFRICOM, Langley, and all your civil military cooperation code words, we see you. And to President Traore and Sahelian leaders, we see you too, and many of us are watching in admiration. Africa doesn't need another conference, but we need conviction, and we need sovereignty and unity. And to President Ruto, ask yourself, sir, is it really worth going down history not as a liberator, but as a gatekeeper for empire? Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. I'd really like to hear what your thoughts are on this. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again.